All right. Hi, Jim Cathcart.
Hey
I
there.
It has been a while. It's been a minute since we spent any time
Yeah,
together.
that's the latest thing, isn't it? To say a minute when you're talking about eons.
Saying, "Oh, ancient history, we go back."
Yeah.
Well, it's totally my pleasure to have an opportunity to highlight who you are for the world and who you are for me.
Okay.
And I want to go back to that ancient history eons ago and start there because I knew you when you lived in La Jolla, California, and of course all the time since then. And those were the days, right?
That's the
So
truth.
so yes, and as we recall it, you were president-elect of the National Speakers Association nationally, and then president, of course. And in that process, you had a significant impact on how speakers get certified as speakers. So I just want to spend a minute here
Okay.
and talk about what was that process. I know your intention, but I want to hear it from you.
Sure. Well, I'll try and keep this story as short and concise as I can. In 1984, pause for effect. Okay. Yes, just before they invented things like trees and dirt. Uh, Back in 1984, I was on the board of NSA. And in the board meeting, we were doing what we had to do every year, and that's go through a bunch of applicants for the Certified Speaking Professional designation, CSP. And as we looked through their applications, it was always difficult because some of the people were very active, very successful business people, but they weren't really speakers. They were more of a trainer, more of a consultant, more of a product, intellectual product promoter who would speak for free and then sell the products or whatever. So we always had these long debates. I said, "Excuse me." I said, "Can we just turn this into a real certification?" And the board member said, "What do you mean?" I said, "Well, like accountants and lawyers and the association executives and people like that, their certifications have educational criteria, performance criteria, a number of other things, and ethical criteria. Why don't we come up with something like that?" And they
And
said,
you had
"Well,
eight, right? You ended up with eight.
they said, okay, smart guy, you come up with it."
I
So I had
remember
to
that.
go through like a year or longer of research on all these other certification processes and come back to them with a plan, which I did, which was a big, thick proposal with everything figured out.
Yeah.
And there were 8 competencies, I call them, competency being a set of skills,
Mhm.
and they addressed every aspect of speaking. Currently, NSA groups those 8 into 4, all of which are headed with a E word, E for ethics, and that addresses knowing the profession and knowing what is considered the appropriate way to connect with others and develop professional relationships in this industry or field. The next one is enterprise. How do you generate bookings, and um, how do you turn those into ongoing business? So that's the enterprise part. Then the next one is eloquence. How do you become better and better as a speaker and presenter? And then how do you manage that, what we call stagecraft, that side of it, to do what you do even better.
Yeah.
Then the final one is, let's see, eloquence, enterprise, ethics, and um, hmm, I'm drawing a blank, but it'll pop into my head in just a moment. And
Uh,
that's the one that has to do with, expertise. Uh,
mhm.
how do you become more and more of a subject expert, a thought leader in your field? And how do you turn that into products and such? And so we had to structure the whole association, local chapters, speaker magazine, annual meetings, winter workshops, special labs, online publications, podcasts, and interviews, so that everything followed that structure of 8.
Yes.
And anyone like you or me entering the profession could say, okay, I need to get credentials in each of these areas, and you click off so many hours of professional education plus your experience and get the CSP.
And what you might not be aware of, Jim, is the gift that it was for people who like myself knew I'm not a professional speaker per se, right? I can speak, I can train, I can facilitate, etc. But what your structure gave me was permission to say, hey, I don't really need that because that's not the direction I'm going, right? So it released me from something that was holding me into the National Speakers Association, which was the appropriate way to go, right?
Sure.
I was blessing the process and the outcome from the standpoint of someone who knew now, gosh, I don't have to buy my way into my friendships.
Yeah.
The National Speakers, I can still be really good friends with you and Dan Burris and other people, right?
Yeah.
Dan, by the way, lives down the road from us here.
I know. I love that.
It is. So
Yeah, until summertime, then he goes back to
Yes,
Waukesha, Wisconsin.
That's right. But so I digress. So that was one contribution that I know was significant.
Thank you.
And I know that that isn't even what you're up to. It's just the space in which you bring what you're up to into the world. So talk to me about how you want to be remembered for the ACORN principle, for the work that you've done that contributes so greatly. Talk to me about that.
I will. And I want to show you a logo here that you're very familiar with.
Yes, I am.
See this?
Yeah.
That little guy right there.
That acorn.
Yep. That's a person triumphantly emerging from an acorn. Look at it closely.
Yes, well, it's a little fuzzy, but I
Yeah.
totally get it because that green is actually a person emerging.
Yeah.
Yes.
Maybe that's better. So anyway, the acorn itself is in the shape of a C, and the person emerging from it is in the shape of a lowercase I, Cathcart Institute. And the colors of the acorn are natural colors, intentionally: autumn gold, forest green, and earth brown. Okay. And my book, The Acorn Principle, reinforces the same natural concept. Every person has within them a particular set of possibilities. It's their seed, so to speak. And just like an acorn can never become a pine tree, it can become a magnificent oak tree. Well, likewise, you and me, we can become, like in my case, I wanted to be a professional speaker. I wanted to be a keynoter. I wanted to write books and do that kind of thing. You wanted to follow a different path. And wow, thank God you were there, because I needed you. And you, as my mentor and my confidant and my guide, you met with me, you met with my staff. I shared deep personal concerns with you, and you helped me heal, when I needed that. And you helped believe in me when I needed a little boost of faith. So God bless you for that, and thank you. But my mission all along has been what's summed up on this little card. This is what is called my passion and purpose statement. And here it is. I believe the reason I exist, or at least my intention for the reason I exist, not that there's a greater reason out there, is the fulfillment of life through me. I believe you and I and everyone is a portal, a doorway for life to express itself through our unique set of abilities and circumstances. So we've been given a moment in time to allow life to happen, right? And when I was speaking in China from 2015 to 2019, I did about 20 or so major round trip tours over there and lectured in 23 major cities and spoke to hundreds of thousands of people for up to 6 hours a day through an interpreter. But when I was speaking to them, now I'm in a communist country at the time, speaking to people who, if they don't behave, they got a problem, right? So I said to these people, since I was speaking on personal development and living a rewarding life, I said, you must honor your government. You must honor your legacy that's come to you through your ancestors and your family. You must honor your employer. And you must honor your gift.
Mm.
Because if you don't express your gift, if all you do is follow the routine that generations before have followed, and that's all you do, then you deny the rest of us the contributions you could have made. So be a better portal for life to express itself through you.
Mhm.
So people say, well, I don't have much potential. No, you haven't noticed the uniqueness of your potential. And everyone's capable of being significant in a variety of ways, some large, some small, but everyone can make life better every single day without additional credentials, resources, or training. So here's mine.
Yes.
My purpose is the fulfillment of life through me, through intelligent observation, noticing more than most people do, vocal appreciation, speaking up and commenting and praising and offering input, and full joyful self-expression, meaning living my life to the fullest in all the ways I can live.
Mhm.
Through doing those three things, I inspire myself and others to live more courageously, more intelligently, and more joyfully, so that we will all have life and have it more abundantly. Now, that's the biblical passage, John 10:10. I've come that they would have life and have it more abundantly. When I did this without realizing it, I did it on October 10th, 2010.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
You
So
did.
that's it. Yeah.
Wow. Well, very inspiring,
Thank
Jim.
you.
Yes. So tell me, what are you doing now? Right? Like, thank you for that acknowledgement. It was really my privilege to work with you for those times when you were here and we were able to do that together. And it's been a while, been a minute, as we said, right?
Mhm.
So what are you doing now? What's
Well,
important to you today?
first off, I'm 76 years old, and I feel like I felt in my 30s or early 40s, inside. Physically, obviously, I have new limitations, but still, I'm living actively. I'm playing the guitar and singing in nightclubs and doing private events. And I've got a music album. I've got a website, guitarmusiclive.com, that's got my music on it, so people can go and enjoy videos or audios. Um, I ride my motorcycle and explore the hill country here around Austin, Texas, and for a few hundred miles in every direction. And as a profession, I am still giving keynote speeches,
Mhm.
but I'm doing an awful lot, I'm doing an awful lot of Zoom meetings and online programs like that. I appear on probably 2 or 3 podcasts a week, other people's. And then I do on my own 2 programs. One is called Going Pro, where I lead people through an 8-week experience of focusing on getting them absolute clarity on what they want to accomplish and how they're going to do it, and help increase their confidence and their courage by walking them through step by step a process that identifies what they do best, what the market wants the most from people like them, how they can leverage assets they already have, and how to structure their strategic decisions going forward. So that's one thing I do, and that's short term, like 2 to 3 months. And then the other thing is I just made up the name, the Cathcart Institute Wisdom Council. And that's where I'm able to tap my friends like yourself who have a high level of expertise in a specific niche and bring them into my own Zoom calls. And you could call them a podcast, but they're not for the world. They're for the initiated, the subscribers. And so I bring my friends and colleagues and experts in to focus on my clients and proteges that want my guidance day to day, month to month, to help grow their own business and career. And I'm also co-authoring books with people, whereas in the past I wrote the books by myself. I've got 2 that just came out in 2021 and 2022, had another one back in 2020. And those last two were co-authored. And now I have 3 books that are written and ready, but I'm not going to do them alone. I'm going to find a protege who wants to do a year-long thing with me and end up with their own book with my name and theirs on it. And then I'm going to take a lot of my older books and collaborate with a protege to re-release them with their material and mine, so that they get the boost of what I've done and they can run on their own without me or with me if they want. And then I can ride into the sunset dressed in better clothing, as I was saying to you earlier.
I think that's a lot of fun. Well, clearly, my favorite saying, age is a matter of the mind. If you don't mind, it don't matter, is certainly one you can aspire, you live inside of as well. Right? Because it isn't slowing you down any, and I'm really grateful for that for both of us. So yes. So, and your website is, you're really sending people to jimcathcart.com, because it's very digitally friendly, right? When they go there, they see all your social media, they see everything about you that they need to see. And it's on the iPhone, it just presents extremely well.
And it's, I mean, it's the beauty of that is this is my digital business card.
Yes.
So it's got virtually everything you'd ever want to know about me, plus my books, my TED Talk.
And how to reach into you, how to find you.
Yeah, boy. And I'm, it's, if people say, how do I find you? It's like, do you remember my name? Yes.
Yeah.
Type it in and hit send. Yeah.
That's great.
So I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook, I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on WeChat, I'm on WhatsApp, I'm,
Yes.
YouTube.
Yes, of course. Well, you'll be on YouTube with me, and I'm likely to actually post this as a LinkedIn post, because it's just so much fun to share what you're up to and be caught up with you. Right, this is the best way to know what you're up to.
Yeah. Well, let me add a comment. Right behind you is your logo, Accountability Pays.
Yeah.
I want your viewers, our viewers today, to know that absolutely makes a difference, because I was at the peak of my career. I was president of the National Speakers Association. I had published books. I'd given probably 2,000 professional speeches when I engaged you as my confidant, advisor, and guide. And you were with me on a regular basis, listening to my heartaches and my fondest dreams and my exciting boasts about recent wins and all those things. And you gave me perspective, and you held me accountable for the things that I had said I was committed to do. And it made a profound difference in my life. And I don't think my career would have advanced as far or as rapidly without Pamela Truex Stambaugh in my corner.
Thank you, Jim. Yes, you've been through a couple of marriages with me.
Yeah. One with me, 52 years now.
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
That was amazing. It's really, really great. Well, nothing pleases me more than to spend this time with you and then be able to take it out into the world. And I'm blessed, and you're blessed, and we're blessed. And just thank you so much. I'm all about accountability pays one conversation at a time. And this is one conversation that I'll treasure for a long time.
Me too. It's great to reconnect, and it's been too long. So let's not let it wither.
That's it. Let's keep it going. Thank you so much.